Welcome, good morning, hi, howdy, how you doing? What's up? So it is venue change tonight. Game 3 means we go to Columbus, we go to Colorado, and we see if the number 8 seed and the number 8 seed are able to continue to make inroads against the number 2 team from the Atlantic and the number 2 team from the Pacific. As we continue to see that being a top team in the regular season really didn't mean anything. Uh, and we'll see. We'll see how things turn out for tonight. Let's go ahead and get things started with Boston and against Columbus. So Columbus with the momentum, but again, does momentum really count for anything? And this series is so crazy close. And I had a feeling before this series started that it would be a close one. Boston's 2-1 on the road in these playoffs. Columbus 2-0 at home. So for Boston to realistically have a chance to take out Columbus with as little damage done as possible, a win tonight is absolutely necessary. If Boston loses tonight, the road to getting into the next round becomes they have to win 3 out of 4 against Columbus, and the way that the Blue Jackets have been playing in these playoffs, that's a pretty tall task. And the math gets kind of shaky already. So, in this series, Game 1 was won 3-2 in overtime by Boston. Game 2 was a 3-2 double overtime win for Columbus. And that win, of course, looms as the biggest win in the history of the Columbus Blue Jackets until their next one. So every win that Columbus gets them further and further into a historic season for them. Game 1 saw 40-31 were the hits in favor of Columbus. Blocked shots were 19-7 in favor of Columbus. So yes, the Blue Jackets lost that game, but they did very well, and they were not dissuaded in the second game from the way that they played in the first. In the second game, they out-hit Boston 49-42. Blocked shots were 22-17 for Columbus in that game. So Boston raised their game when it came to block shots in the last game, but Columbus was still the better team. Overall, I will agree. Columbus has played better. The thing is, Boston still has more to give. You get the feeling that there's definitely more to come from that top line. I'm not going to call it what they call it on TV, because I don't think that should be a thing. But, there is more there than what we've seen so far. Marchand leads Boston in scoring with 4 goals and 5 assists, 9 points. A fat goose egg in this series. Pastrnak, 3 goals, 4 assists. Charlie Coyle, 5 goals, 2 assists. And Krejci with 2 goals and 4 assists as your top 4 scorers for the Boston Bruins. On the Columbus side, Panarin, 4 goals, 5 assists. Duchesne, 4 goals, 4 assists. Seth Jones, 2 goals, 6 assists. And Atkinson with 2 goals and 4 assists for Columbus. And again, while I talk about the top line and them not necessarily producing as well as you might expect for Boston, Columbus, you get the feeling there's more to give for them as well. So the Blue Jackets and the Bruins both coming out of these first 2 games probably saying, offensively, we could probably do better. Goaltending, of course, Tuukka Rask in these playoffs has a .927 save percentage, 2.24 goals against. Bobrovsky's been the better goaltender, .930 save percentage, 2.01 goals against average. This is the Bobrovsky that Columbus has been waiting for in playoffs for years, and he finally showed up this year. Now, when you're getting into the minutia of all of it, and I know people always do it this time of year, and we get into all the face-off stuff and all that, and I don't get into the face-off stuff because I showed during the regular season the team that wins the most face-offs doesn't necessarily win the game. It's not really an indicator of who's having the best game. But, there is something to be said for that. Now, where I wanted to focus a little bit today, rookies. On Boston, you got Kuhlman and Clifton are the 2 rookies that have played for them so far in the playoffs. And again, and I've said this recently, Don Sweeney, it's been impressive to me the depth this organization has when it comes to both prospects and even some of the fringe players who end up coming into play when needed. And these 2 rookies are no exception. Both Clifton and Kuhlman have been pretty impressive to me. But, of course, Columbus has Texier, and you get the feeling with Texier that there's a lot of offense there, and it's just a matter of him putting it together. And as much as I like this story, I would love it more if Texier found that in, say, October rather than in this series. Just saying, that would probably make me feel a little bit better if that's when he found his offensive game as a rookie or as a kid in the league, right? He's still going to be a rookie next season because he didn't play enough games this year to get out of rookie status next year. Pretty solid addition for the Columbus Blue Jackets, I might say. But this game is likely going to be close. Anybody going to be shocked if it goes to overtime? Me neither. Double overtime? Me neither. This is a really, really close series, and whoever comes out of this series is probably going to be pretty beat up. Just because these games are going to be so long and arduous. So if Carolina's the team that's going to be waiting, if they're going to, unless the Islanders have some miraculous comeback and win it in 6 or 7, Carolina may very well benefit from coming up against a team in either Columbus or Boston who might be pretty beat up. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, San Jose. All right, Sharks. It's been a playoffs where we've seen some great games from the Sharks, and we've seen some poor games from the Sharks. Now, this is Game 3. Now, of course, Game 2, not necessarily the best game the Sharks have played in the playoffs, just like Round 1. Round 1, they lost Games 3 and 4. Now they have to avoid the same fate against Colorado, who I would argue are playing better hockey right now than Vegas was in the playoffs this year. The San Jose Sharks 1-2 on the road, Colorado 2-0 at home, same as Columbus. This is how these teams got out of the first round. Game 1, San Jose won 5-2. And there was a lot of talk about, hey, this is going to be nice and easy for San Jose. I never said it. Nope. Colorado wins Game 2, 4-3, and has home ice going home. In Game 1, the hits were 28-26 for Colorado, and in Game 2, they were 28-25 for Colorado. Blocked shots, that's where the difference comes in. It was 22-16 for the San Jose Sharks in the first game, 25-16 Colorado in the second game of this series. So Game 3, a lot of it's going to depend on how well these teams block, how physical these teams are, and San Jose really needs to take it to Colorado. The first 5 minutes are going to be pretty tough. Same as with Columbus. Those first 5 minutes, when you've got an underdog team and it's a Game 3, it's that first game at home, and the crowd's electric, you've got to overcome that, and that gets kind of tricky. Scoring leaders for each team: Burns, 4 goals, 7 assists for San Jose. Hurdle, 6 goals, 4 assists. Erik Karlsson with 10 assists. And Logan Couture, 6 goals, 3 assists for the San Jose Sharks. On the Colorado side of things, Rantanen, 5 goals, 6 assists. McKinnon, 4 goals, 7 assists. Barry, a goal and 7 assists. And Landeskog with 2 goals, 4 assists. Rounds out your top scorers for Colorado. Keep in mind, Colorado has played fewer games than San Jose. So the scoring totals for Colorado more impressive than those of San Jose's, just because they haven't played as many games. Goaltending is, of course, going to be the story again. Jones is going to have to continue to prove himself night in and night out. Seems to be having a pretty solid run here of his last 5 games. We'll see how he does tonight in Colorado, because on the road he was shaky in Vegas. 907 save percentage for him in these playoffs. 3.04 goals against average. Dell's the backup. He has an 861 save percentage and a 3.35 goals against average. Grubauer, 924 save percentage, 2.35 goals against. Grubauer, much like Bobrovsky, the other number 8 seeded goaltender, has been quite a story in that in the playoffs he is playing like he did in the regular season. These two teams have very similar stories. They have both gone through teams that were supposed to be contenders, possibly Stanley Cup finalists, and now they're against the two teams that are most being taken, from what I've seen, to go to the Stanley Cup final and face each other in Boston and San Jose. So both of these number 8 seeds are telling very similar to almost identical stories. They're doing it in a different fashion. Colorado, I would say, is the less physical of the two teams. But that being said, they are just as tough. And it has been quite the playoffs for the two. Now, for San Jose, the only rookie that's got into a game is Gambrell. Of course, on Colorado, Makar. Makar has been a great story. He has come in. He's looked pretty solid. He has made some errors. There have been some moments in games where he makes those errors that rookies will make. But his excellent moments have been enough that Colorado doesn't even think about pulling him out of the lineup. He has been pretty fantastic for them for the most part, and he is learning very quickly. There's nothing quite like coming into the playoffs and playing that way. I think of when Torrey Krug came in for Boston in the playoffs and scored a bunch of goals right away. I was sold right on the spot. And so for Colorado fans that are excited about Makar, the good thing is that Makar not just coming in and playing like a ball of fire in the playoffs, but he projects to be just a fantastic defenseman from this point forward. Probably Colorado's best defenseman. I would say by this time next year, he'll be unquestionably their number one defenseman over Barrie and anybody else you can name on that blue line right now. So Colorado looking to go up 2-1. San Jose and Boston both really need these wins tonight. The pressure is on. Of course, this is your early start. This is your late game. And we'll see how that affects things as well. Colorado's been really, really tough at home. They're going to try to do it again tonight. Columbus, much the same. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think of these two number 8 seeds, the two teams that barely made the playoffs. And now they look pretty darn solid, don't they? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.